Okay, for our third lecture in biostatistics, it will be about graphing. So, ano ba yung ating graphing? So, ito yung regarding sa graphs or yung sa mga presentations na ipinapakita natin. Pwede sa thesis, sa reports, or sa mga TV, mga nakikita natin graph or charts doon. Okay, so graphs or table. So, tapos na tayo doon sa table do sa previous lecture. So, bakit kailangan pa ng graphs or bakit kailangan yung table? So, this table shows the comparison between graphs and tables kung saan ba siya dapat gagamitin. So, yung graphs natin, pwede siya or better in presentations. Tables are better in papers. So, graphs can only show summaries kasi hindi naman minsan kasi yung ating graphs ay legends na hindi na mismo yung buong data. So, sa table, often show all the data. So, mismong numbers kasi nilalagay na sa tables. So, sa graph, shows only a few variables. Kapag table, better for multiple variables. So, trend is better illustrated in graphs. Sa table naman, hindi siya masyadong kita yung trend since mga raw data yun nandun. So, kapag graphs, ito yung mga graphical natin. Yung mga kita nyo may mga iba-ibang image or pie chart, bar chart, graphs, or scattergram, mga iba-iba. Table naman, yung basic na table na meron tayo. So, definition of graphs. So, this is intended for comparison to show on any correlation or simply for the purpose of data presentation. So, this is intended to convey ideas faster and more forcefully. So, a series of lines joined together. So, yun yung ating definition ng graphs. So, kasi kapag nakita mo ay yung pie chart, nakikita mo yung hati o yung distribution talaga, mas madali mo siya maintindihan compared sa ating table na raw data yung nakalagay doon. So, parts of a graph. So, ito muna yung parts. Samya, ipapakita ko alin yun doon. So, title. What, how, where, when, or placed under the figure. So, they are placed under the figure. Axis, vertical and horizontal, corresponding to the row and column heading of the table. One of the axes is always quantitative scale. So, number or numerical lagi yung isa. Legend, placed either at the bottom or of the graph or close as possible to the figures being identified. Needed when one is drawing more than one graph in a graphing space. So, mamaya pakita ko alin yung tinutukoy na more than one graph. Body, ito yung lines, bars, figures drawn within the graphing space. Okay, so ito. So, ito yung ating title, Population of MedTech Students. So, kapag gagawa kayo ng table or ng graphs, kailangan lagi may title. Kasi pag wala yung title, kulang yung points nun. So, tandaan, dapat laging may title. Okay, so title, axis, ito yung ating axis, dalawa. Then yung legend, ayan, legend. So ito yung tinutukoy niya. Minsan kasi may isa pa, na iba naman ang kulay. So pwedeng pa gano'n naman, tapos iba naman yung nakalagay dito. Yan. So yun yung ating legends. Next is letter D, the body. So, siya na mismo yung content or yung pinaglalagyan ng ating naman ng graphs. Okay. So, type of data. So, qualitative or categorical. So, dichotomous, only two, positive or negative. So, pwedeng male or female. So, nominal, unordered. So, single, married, separated. Ordinal, outstanding, very good, good, or poor. Quantitative naman yung ating numerical. So, counted gaps or days or continuous no gaps. Blood pressure. So, qualitative data. So, bar or column graph. Grouped column graph, segmented column graphs, and pie graphs. Ito yung ating qualitative data. So, kapag qualitative yung data, yung mga pasok dito, qualitative, ito mga ginagamit. Kapag quantitative naman, kapag counted with gaps, bar chart. Kapag continuous or no gaps, stem and leaf plot, histograms, and box and whisker plot. So, ano-ano ba yung ating kinds of graphs? So, bar graphs, pwede siya sa nominal or ordinal data. Bars arranged in frequency. So, depende kung gaano kadami. Good for showing separate unrelated pieces of data. So, pwedeng magkakaibang lugar or magkakaibang department. So, halimbawa, ito ay medtech students. Ito naman ay radtech, PT, nursing, midwife. Okay. So, magkakaibang students, number of students. So, ito yung, dito nakalagay yung course at dito naman nakalagay kung ilan yung population nila. Next, histogram. So, ang pinagkaiba ng histogram sa ating bar graph, ang bar graph may konting space. O, tingnan dito, may bungi siya. May space siya. Pag histogram, kadugtong siya mismo. Yan, dikit-dikit. Interval ratio or continuous data, range of values in classes. Yan. So, magkakadugtong siya. So, ito, ibig sabihin, walang 80 to 90. So, ranges of values. So, 20 to 30, ito yun. Nasa 2.0 daw yung frequency ng 20 to 30. So, 30 to 40, 4.0. 40 to 50, 4.0. 50 to 60. So, minimeasure natin dito is yung gitna. Yan. Yung pagitan. So, wala daw 80 to 90. Next, line graph. So, interval or ratio data. Good for showing data continuous or changes over time. So, pwedeng ito yung data, ito yung time. So, yan. Pwede ito ay number of enrollees of medtech students in a span of 10 years. So, yan. Pwede yan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, pwedeng ganon. Next, pie chart. So, qualitative data shows proportion always adds up to 100%. So, kapag gagawa kayo nito, medyo sukat-sukatin nyo naman, no? So, isang bilog, 360, kalahati, 180. Sukat-sukatin naman kahit pa paano. So, medyo tama-tama naman yung proportion ng pagkakahati. Ano? Next, cumulative frequency curve. So, line graph symbolizing a cumulative frequency or percent distribution. So, para siyang line graph din. Continuous lang yung kanyang frequency. Next, box and whisker plots. So, displays data through their quartiles. So, median, upper quartile, extreme. Lower quartile, whisker extreme. So, usually nakikita to sa mga machine or sa mga examination. So, hindi man masyado natin itong magagamit. Next, stem and leaf plot shows each data point. Stems are listed in tens, digit vertically. Ito, tens. And leaves are the ones, the digits on the rows. So, paano basahin to? So, stems daw is tens natin. Leaves is 1. So, usually may key yan. So, halimbawa ganito, 5, 6 equals 56%. Kasi ito daw ay 50. Ito naman ay 6. So, 56. Next, 67, 67, 69, 72, 74, 77, 77, 78, 81, 82, 82, 83, 84, 88. Yan. So, ganito ang stem and leaf plot. Scattergram. So, data points of two variables in relation to one another. So, correlation and regression are used to show trends, outliers, shapes, and strength. So, usually sa machine, nakikita to sa CBC or sa hematology. Mga ganito, yung mga tinitingnan. So, pwede siyang depende kung ano yung nasa X and Y axis mo. So, mga white blood cell, platelets, so ganito siya binabasa ng machine. Okay. So, histogram, ulitin natin. So, histogram have no gaps between columns. So, continuous data siya. Same width of each group. Column labels are column labeled by using midpoint. So, yung gitna represents only one variable. Usually 5 to 15 categories. So, kapag isang variable lang, halimbawa nga is yung age. Yun yung ginagamit natin. Yan. Ito kasi, pwedeng magkakaiba. So, halimbawa, magkakaibang students from different departments, di ba? So, medtech, radtech, ET. Ito naman, age. So, halimbawa, age. So, kapag age ng mga students, halimbawa age ng medtech students, so 2, 4, 4, yan. So, kapag isa lang, dapat histogram. Pag madami yung variable, dapat bar graph. Okay. So, histogram, positively skewed data. So, peak at lower values and have a long tail of higher values. So, kapag ganito, on the right, ibig sabihin yung data na ipon sa kaliwa. Na dito madami. At pagdating doon sa mas mataas na values, kaunti lang. So, ibig sabihin, majority of the frequencies are found on the left side. Yan. Higher values, buntot. So, may tail sa kanan. Positively skewed yun. Next, negatively skewed. Kaunti yung nasa kaliwa. Kaunti yung mababa, madami yung mataas. Pie chart. Large segment begins at 12 o'clock. So, dapat dito ka mag-start. Pakanan. Proceed in clockwise direction. So, pakanan ka magbibilang. So, halimbawa, 50% pakanan. Yan. Or 25%. So, hanggang dito. So, arrange mo muna siya sa pinakamataas papunta sa pinakamababa. Okay. So, mali ito. Basta example lang to na nakuha natin sa internet. So, dapat 12 o'clock. Dito ka mag-start. So, halimbawa, 30%. So, dito ka mag-start. Papuntang 30%. Lampas ng konti dito. More or less dito yung 30%. Yan. So, dito ka dapat mag-start. Kunyari, pantayan. Proceed clockwise. More or less, ito yung 30% yan. Yan. So, ito dapat yon. So, next, ito namang 25. Yan. So, from dito, bilang ka ng 25%. Sunod 20. So, 20 ulit. 20. And 15. So, pakanan ang ikot. Or clockwise. Ordered by size. So, sunod-sunod dapat arrange mo muna siya sa from pinakamalaki, paunti. Pero, to the right. Number of observations and percentages. Number of segments. Yan, mga hanggang 5 lang dapat. So, color employed with caution. So, wag naman gawin masyadong colorful, So, 3D is a no. So, do not use 3D pie charts. So, good for showing percentages and money. Money. So, remember, when choosing the graph to use, so, tandaan itong laman itong graph na to. So, hanggang doon lang yung ating graphs. Thank you for listening.